Big idea for today is you cannot. So I have two chapters in here that are very similar. You could almost, one is called belief and one is called the power of your words. They're very intertangled. Okay. Anyone heard that concept called quantum entanglement? Okay. The law of belief and the law of speaking words have power are very intertangled, and I'm about to break it down for you. But here's the big idea for today. If you want to take a screenshot, let this needs to fall on somebody today. Somebody needs to really hear this. You cannot be speaking life, faith, positivity, and winning words while thinking completely different things at the same time. We are complex creatures. We're all creatures. I kid my son about that because what is a creature? Does anyone know the definition of a creature? My son, my 7-year-old, he was like, Dad, that makes us sound like we're aliens or something like that. I said, no, we're all creatures. Anyone know the definition of a creature? Put it in the chat if you know. I'm trying to see if anyone knows why we are all creatures. No one's taken a stab at that one. Because we are created. Okay, God created us and designed us. That is is a creature, is a created thing. Okay, so you God created us this way, and it's a dichotomy because we're very complex. I mean, think about how this starts from a seed and turns into a human being, blows me away. It's a miracle. So very complex, but we're also very simple. Okay. Human beings, there's some things about how God created us where we're very simple. So, and one of those things is that you cannot be speaking things that are winning, positive, here's where we're going, and thinking things that are opposite at the same time. Because your words create immediately, when you take control of your mouth and your words, it forces your mind to come into alignment with that. Now, you can say winning words, you can say positive things, you can speak life, and then fear, doubt, and all these things can come at you a half a second later. I know that. So, what do you have to do? You have to keep speaking. But I talk about this in my book, and I'm so passionate about this concept, and I still don't think a lot of people really grasp it. But this is a revelation that God gave me over the last 20 years of building this business, learning, going through valleys, going through hard things, and overcoming and winning. God taught me all these lessons. And He taught me about the mouth, mind, heart connection. Okay, so we have the mouth. Let's see if I can't draw a pair of lips. I'm like the worst. Uh, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to speak that. I'm going to become a better. Um, let's see. Does that look like lips to anyone? Okay. There's the mouth. There's some teeth in there. Put some teeth in there. There's the mouth. It's not a very pretty mouth, but there's the mouth. The mind. Okay. See if I can't draw a little brain, little squigglies. There's a brain. Okay. The mind. Yeah, it's kind of funky because the mouth is way bigger than the mind right there. But hey, some of you guys have a way bigger mouth than you have a mind, right? So, okay, the mouth, mind, and the heart. And I know some of you guys have tuned in and you're like, Jared, we're supposed to be talking about presenting. You're supposed to be telling me about um, how to invite people. How do I get people to duplicate? How do I grow my check? I'm telling you, all of that stuff is connected to this stuff. For things to change, we have to change. Some of us, you're not, some people, someone needs to hear this. Oh, someone needs to hear this. You're not going any further financially until you change some things about you. And you're just going to stay right here until we change. Okay? I had to change tremendously. Still changing. Why? Because I want to go to another level. So think about this with me for just 1 second. For Jared Burnett to go to the next level, I have to become the person that that next level is, or else it won't happen. I can't just work harder. It's not the way it works, guys. So here we go. The mouth, mind, heart connection. It's all connected. It's very intertwined. So with the mouth, we speak. We speak words. With the mind, we think. Okay. And you may not believe it or not, but your thoughts have power. You don't think you're the highest form of creation in the whole known universe. Human beings are God's highest form of creation. So there's nothing that a man has created that can even compare. There is no supercomputer or AI that exists that is anywhere on the level of a human mind. And this little cell phone that's created by humans can send signals that contain video, that contain data, that contain images. All this little thing created by humans. You don't think that God created your brain to be more powerful than that? There are thoughts coming out of your head hitting things that affect things. So so with the mouth we speak, with the mind we think, and with the heart we believe. But also the mind, let me say this, the mind has two parts. The you have the conscious mind, okay? And I'm gonna draw a circle like this, and then below it, we're gonna put the subconscious. Your subconscious mind is where the power lies. Because when I tell you I believe in you that you can be a diamond, and I tell you that for the first time, your conscious mind hears it, but maybe your subconscious mind doesn't believe it yet. And whatever your subconscious mind believes is how you're going to function. So, but here's how cool God is. He gives us the tools to program our subconscious mind because our subconscious mind is how we operate. You don't even have to think. Okay. Your subconscious mind controls your breathing, your heart beating. You don't have to think about breathing. You don't have to think about your heart beating, right? The subconscious mind, your brain is just automated that. Some of you guys woke up this morning, you got out of bed on the same side, you did the same activity for the first 30 minutes of your day, and you didn't have to think about any of it. You're just running a program because you have done the same thing over and over and over, and now the subconscious mind is just running that program. So here's something else cool about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, which dictates every direction we're going to go in life, the subconscious mind will believe anything you tell it. So be very, very, very careful what you tell yourself with your own words. Words have power. But God gave us this gift of our mouth to be able to speak to our own subconscious mind. I call it brainwashing yourself for success. It means speaking the things that my heart may not even believe yet, so that my subconscious mind hears it. It goes into my subconscious mind. And guess what? Beliefs, beliefs happen because of repetition. You build your beliefs. Belief is like a muscle, guys. You build a muscle through repetition. You build your belief through repetition and intensity. Did you know there's things that have happened in some of you guys' lives that were so intense or so traumatic that it shaped a belief? Because it's like this huge impact, this huge imprint on your subconscious mind. And so people get caught up in things in fear and doubt and unbelief because of they've played these things over and over and over with the conscious mind. So now the subconscious mind just believes it. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, anyone, like you have to. So here's the cool thing about the mind, the mouth, mind, heart connection is we have the ability to speak winning words. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to give you a little hack in this business. Anyone want like a little secret, a little hack that I learned? Use your words in this business in your mouth to speak where you're going. Is that it? Going? Yeah, that's it. Speak where you're going. And some of you guys are not speaking where you're going. If you're going to go to the next level, leaders, new people, I don't care. If you're going to go to the next level, you've got to start speaking where you're going. You got to start speaking it to your spouse. You got to start speaking it to yourself. You've got to start speaking where you're going constantly, nonstop. Because here's what happens. You start to program the subconscious mind and it starts to believe it. The scriptures call it writing these things on our heart. Anyone ever heard that? And so, because when the heart starts to believe, you start to get into this beautiful, I call it the upward spiral. We don't want to go down the downward spiral. Can anyone testify here today that something bad happened at one point? It could have just been in one day, something silly. But you began to speak these negative words about yourself, about your situation, and very quickly all of a sudden it leads to something and it's the downward spiral. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe you don't recognize it. Maybe you can't point back. Yeah, if I would watch my words and all that, because and here's what I'm gonna be the first to tell you, because we have people of all different belief systems here, and I'm a Christ follower. Don't judge me for my beliefs and my faith. I won't judge you for yours. I'm never going to tell you this is the way it is, but I'll tell you what I believe and how things have affected my life. But I'm never going to say that, oh, I'm not what would some of you guys may have heard this term, a name it, claim it type person. I don't believe in that. There's no hocus pocus. There's no, oh, if I just say this, there's something spiritual, magical that's going to happen. I believe God gave us a mouth and we get to choose if we speak life or we speak death in every situation. And with those words have a frequency, they have power, they are impacting thing. It's science. And they're also impacting your subconscious mind, your own belief. You are either building your heart up with belief or you are tearing it down. So mouth, mind, heart connection. There's a whole that my whole chapter on belief is about that. I'll read you just a piece to give you a taste because I want to build your appetite to get your nose in this book to build your belief. Scientists have discovered that the heart has its own memory separate from the brain. Did you hear that? Science has discovered our heart has its own memory separate from the brain, as well as its own electrical force. How do they start a heart? How can you stop a heart? With electricity. They've also found that when you get within 3 to 6 feet of someone, you can feel what is coming out of their heart in the form of electricity. Your heart is producing so much electricity that literally people can feel your heart within a few feet of you. You may not believe it. It's true. Have you ever gotten around somebody and you can just feel, you could feel maybe the weight they're carrying? Have you ever been around someone that's full of true joy and you can just feel the joy? And you're just like, man, I love being around that person, right? I can literally feel a feeling. That's real. So your heart generates an electrical current, which is why they use electricity to revive you if your heart needs to be restarted. You may have experienced this when you felt that a certain person you just met has good intentions and is honest, or on the flip side, that they might have ill will and you just feel it. The heart, mind, and mouth are three of the most important and powerful parts of us, and they all play a part in our belief. One of Oh, and then I go into this that you just need to read that because someone needs to hear this when it's talking about. That's why. Do you know every person I know that's highly successful financially that understands spiritual things? Every single one of them talks about forgiveness, and and uh, and I talk about that in the book. And people are like, I got on this Zoom because I want to make money, and you're talking about forgiveness. Did you know bitterness or unforgiveness to other people can hold you back from making money because you are closed. You are not open. You're closed off. And I talk about it in the book. I talk about the book The Shack. It's a book that I love. It's a and the book talks about where I'm not going to read the whole thing and then we're going to move on, but it talks about that they made a movie of it. I highly recommend the movie. It's kind of a allegorical movie, and this guy, a killer had murdered his daughter, and he's struggling with forgiveness. Says, I could probably never forgive this person. His beautiful little girl, someone murdered his daughter. Gruesome, horrible. Kidnapped her, took her up in the cabin in the mountains, all these horrible things. And so this man, is wrestling with this, like, how could you ever forgive someone like that? And so this guy in the movie, it's an allegorical scene where it's a guy that's playing Jesus, takes him into this cave and is talking to him about forgiveness. And guess what he teaches this guy in the movie? And this goes right along with what I'm saying. And this isn't scripture. This isn't in the Bible. This is just a movie, but it goes right along with what I'm saying. He said he takes him in there and he says he's trying to get this man to forgive. Okay. And what this horrible monster did to his daughter. And he's like, I can't do it. And so what Jesus ends up getting him to do is to just say the words, I forgive. And it illustrates the power because how many things start with a statement? How many things start with words? Our words have power. And I'm just telling you right now, you want to create momentum, you want to get some things going, you need to use this thing that God gave you as a tool, your mouth, to start speaking everywhere you're going about where you're going. You need to figure out what you want, where you want to go, and you start speaking it everywhere you go because you're writing it on your subconscious mind. And when the subconscious mind starts to believe it, you're writing it on your heart. And when your heart gets a hold of it and believes, you're unstoppable. Everything else comes into alignment, and you're creating an atmosphere for miracles.